hospitality of Almaty last night. We begin this morning with a presentation on the capacity building program for women's empowerment, a collaborative initiative of UN Tourism and the Almaty Tourism Bureau being implemented this year. Let me please welcome on the stage Dr. Lucy Ferguson, a lead expert on women's empowerment for UN Tourism, and Ms. Laura Tanat, local support expert on women's empowerment. I pass the floor to you.
Thank you. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. We are so happy to see you here, to have you here, and to be here with you. And thank you to all the young people who have come. You are very welcome. We started working on this work. I started working on this when I was a student, and I did my PhD on the topic of women in tourism, which I finished in 2007. And at that time, we were really beginning these conversations about the role of women in tourism. And whenever I started working with UN Tourism, started collaborating in 2008, and whenever we said, we need to talk about women in tourism, the response was often, but the tourism sector is full of women. Why do we need to pay attention to this topic? So, as someone who's been working on this for 20 years, I just thought it'd be good to take a moment to say, to appreciate change takes a long time, but if we work for it together, it can happen. So in those 20 years, we have achieved many, many things for women's rights and women's empowerment in the tourism sector. We have conventions, we have had programs, we have reports, we have data, and we have our wonderful Center Stage program, which is a program which any country can join, and we're very, very pleased to welcome Kazakhstan to our Center Stage program. It has lots of different aspects, and one of them is training, which we will talk about in this presentation, and also I think many of you will join us for our training program. And when we talk about, we often say the future is female. We hear this phrase a lot. There's no doubt that in the tourism sector, the future is female. But I think we also need to say the present is female. It's here, it's now. And whereas 20 years ago, we might have been asking, please take this seriously, we want you to take this seriously, the private sector, the public sector, we're no longer asking anymore, we're doing it. We are here, we are saying, the present is female and the tourism sector needs to take note. So whether it wants to or not, the sector is changing and needs to respond to women. So we talked a little yesterday about some of these ideas. So who's in charge in the tourism sector? Who controls travel spending? So we heard that yesterday 80% of all travel and tourism decisions are made by women. This is up to 82% in the latest report by Skift on the women traveller. Globally, we expect that by 2028, women will control 75% of all discretionary spending. This is across all sectors. So that's likely to be even higher in the tourism sector, right? Between 70 and 80%, again, decision-making are made by women, so we have this corroborated by 3 different reports. So I think we can start to say that these statistics are ones that we can really start using. When we need to be making a case, if you need to be making a case, we can talk about these figures as a very serious change and projections for the future of the sector. And in the US alone, women are likely to have a spending power of $73 billion annually. So these are the kinds of figures that we're looking at. Women are going to control income and spending in the future. Now let's think back again to 2007 and think about this typical traveler worldwide. So typical traveler at this time was a man, maybe in his 30s, and that was who the profile of the typical traveler was. If you think about this profile of this typical traveler now, do you know who that is? Any thoughts? She is a 47-year-old female, like me. So now our typical traveler, if we want to take a global profile of the typical traveler, she's a 47-year-old woman. So we need a tourism that is made for a 47-year-old woman as the neutral position as our idea of what the tourism sector is. And this is travel and tourism, not just leisure spending, but also all kinds of work travel too. So I am the typical traveler worldwide, and any of us here of the similar age. So in North America, 41% of women travelers are over 55. So this over 55, women travelers over 55 are the future of the sector. So these are the ideas. This is how the sector is changing. Whether the sector's caught up or not is another thing. We don't need to ask permission for a sector that responds to women. We need a sector that responds to women in order to continue being successful. We need to adapt to the reality. We're behind. So these arguments about, yes, we need to meet the Sustainable Development Goals, of course. Yes, we need to meet our commitments as governments, as the private sector. But beyond that, we need to change. We need a sector that responds to these women, that responds to who our customers are. So, and travel spending by women over 50 is set to more than double, to $519 billion by 2035. So let's start designing a sector that works for these women, that works for who is really traveling. We know that solo travel is growing and is a trend that many of us are responding to. Those of us here in Kazakhstan, many of you are working, for example, in mountaineering, in other areas, in adventure sports, in nature travel. These are very big areas for solo travel. But most solo travelers are women. 61% of solo travelers are women, and only 39% are men. So again, when we think about these adventure experiences, when we think about these solo trips that we are designing, when we think about what kind of sector we will have in our countries, what kind of tourism products we develop, we need to be designing these for women. And if we don't, we're not going to be developing the right kind of tourism, which is following the trends. We heard from Anche from Intrepid Travel about their women's expeditions. So women-only travel is growing, and in a very, very serious way. We heard that is their most successful and fastest growing product. We need to take women-only travel seriously. And this is something that's definitely changed over the last 20 years. This kind of product and this kind of idea, we know it sells, we know it works. And why does it work? Because when our typical traveler, who is a 47-year-old woman like me, travels, I want to know that my money is going to women. I want to talk to women. I want to have an authentic experience where I can engage with other women. But really, I want to know that my money is genuinely benefiting the women in the communities that I visit. So these kinds of ways, these kinds of women-only travel, in many countries as well, where women are not publicly facing. So it's not normal that a woman would necessarily work at the front desk of a hotel or be a guide. In many Arab states, for example, or in very closed societies, this is a way that women can work in the sector and sell their goods and services because they only need to be in contact with other women. So there's a safety aspect, but also in cultures where it's not socially acceptable for women to work in an environment where there's men, you would allow all these different kinds of experience, which is women-to-women exchanges. And as you can see, the number of women-only travel companies has increased by 230% over the past few years. So this is growing, this is real, this is happening. So we can choose to embrace it, or we can ignore it and fail to thrive as a sector. So I think it's clear that the future, and even the present of the travel sector, needs to be designed for women and by women. That's us. We're here. We are designing it. We're in charge. We need to take this forward. We don't need to give explanations. We don't need to seek funding. What we need to do is confidently say, this is the kind of sector we need to design. Now, as consumers, what kind of sector do we want? First of all, fair working conditions for women. We want to know that the hotel that we're staying in treats its women workers fairly, that the cleaners have good contracts, that they're not just on agency contracts, that they have maternity leave. We want to visit, we want to go to hotels, we want to travel with companies who have a no tolerance policy for sexual harassment for its workers and also for the travelers themselves. This is what women consumers demand and will begin to demand more and more and more from the sector. We want to buy from women suppliers, and we want the companies that look after us when we travel to buy from suppliers that have fair practices for women in their supply chains. So this is a little what we were talking about yesterday. It's not just about buying from women-owned businesses. If I book through a big travel company, what I want to know is that, yes, they will be supplying from women-owned businesses, but I want more from that. I want them to only procure from companies who can prove that they are responsible, they act in a responsible, fair, and equal way towards women all the way through their supply chain. So a transport company, that transport company should be providing us with female drivers. They should be trained, they should be safe. We should be making these kinds of demands of our suppliers as well. How do you treat the women workers in your supply chain? Does everyone in every company in your supply chain offer maternity leave? And if not, why not? And if you are working for a big company, you have that challenge. And as Anna kept saying yesterday, what we need to do is take the decision. Take the decision to do this. The tools are available. You can sign up to the Women's Empowerment Principles, and then you can have access to all the tools to do the audit of your supply chain, like we heard from Intrepid. We want to know our money. We want to know that our money is going to women. And not just a woman-owned business that has a figurehead woman at the top, but that really is making a difference in the communities that we visit. We have a huge sector. We have a responsibility for this money to be shared equitably and fairly, and making sure that women all the way through the sector are benefiting and also treated fairly and with human rights respected. But what else do we want to see? We heard a lot yesterday about leadership, about women's leadership in the sector. We need to see it in order to be able to aspire to those positions. But if we want to see a sector where the consumer is reflected in the leadership. So if our typical traveler profile is a 47-year-old woman, why are our boards still full of men? So it's not just that, and if the workforce is 54%, which is very exciting when you wrote the report and then everyone is quoting the number back to you, makes you feel very happy. We need to update it, but it's working for now. So we know that we have a sector which is female-dominated in every sense. We now know that the sector is also, in terms of consumers, female-dominated. Where are the women at the top of the sector? It's our job as a sector to respond to that, to start reflecting the consumer and the worker within the leadership. And this is what consumers are going to be demanding. They will want to travel with companies, and they will want to travel to countries where we can see women's leadership in all aspects of the sector. So this is no longer a question of how it was in 2007, 2008, going to private sector. We would really like to talk to you about women's rights, about gender equality in your company. Are you interested? Talking to national governments, saying, we really would like to work with you on integrating gender into your tourism policy. That time is gone. Now it's a different kind of time. It's a different argument. We have the evidence. We have the good practices. We have the case studies. We know what works. And more than that, we need to adapt. So whether the men at the top of these boards like it or not, it's time for change. And we can make that change. So that's my call to you today. How do we do this? Well, a very important part, which is what here my dear colleague Laura and I are here to do, is the training program. So we've done lots of different training programs over the years with our dear colleague Veronica from Moldova. We did some training in Moldova, the Center Stage project, which was 4 countries, which Ben told us about in his presentation yesterday. The importance of training, we have to start with awareness raising. So we're very, very pleased that here in Kazakhstan, we have the opportunity to work with you. And thank you, dear students, again for being with us, because you are the future. You are the future of the sector. So we're working with students, with academics, with the private sector, with the public sector, on this training program, which Laura's going to explain a little bit about more now. But really, this is how we, particularly as the UN, can support you as a sector, through awareness raising, training, and really giving you the knowledge and the skills you need to be able to make this change. So I'm going to pass over to Laura in a moment, and Laura's going to be speaking in Russian, so that we can have a difference between the 2 languages to make it easier. So let me pass to you. Thanks, Laura.
Thank you, Lucy. With such useful information, and I think everyone now understands and will deeply understand what is the objectives of our course and what we will learn. So I will start in Russian, because we decided to mix it. Всем добрый день, спасибо за...
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for your interest, and thank you for coming here, because we've been discussing these issues for the 2nd day already. And the main purpose of our program, as you can read it from here, by the end of this program, what are our objectives that we are going to achieve, and how are we going to use the knowledge acquired in the future, especially in tourism and hospitality sectors. Number 1, well, probably I will stay here. First of all, the main objectives for the program are predetermined by the challenges. It's not very good to talk about the problems, but anyway, we are talking about the possibility of solving various issues and to understand what is happening around us, not only here in Kazakhstan, but elsewhere in the world. To identify how it is related to your sector of tourism and hospitality, and to empower the rights and possibilities of women, so that everyone will be able to draft a plan of actions to be applicable not only in your personal life, but also in our area of activity. It is really very important what can be done in our organizations, in our companies. The topics of our training, what we can consider here is first and foremost is the improvement of the working environment for women and access of women to supply chain in tourism. The improvement of the women's leadership in tourism. I think that yesterday the speakers were talking at great lengths on those topics, and they underscored the challenges that we are facing. And I believe that our training course is put together, is drafted based on our deep understanding of this problem and the development of some achievements, and pursuing objectives such as future changes. Here we can also analyze various steps, and many of you are already registered for our training. The first introductory webinar has already been conducted. You can get registered as well, and this is what we can discuss during the workshop. This is the reason for which we would like to invite you to participate in the workshop. We have 4 steps that you can take a look at right now. This is number 1 is an online 1 hour long or 2 hour long self-learning course. And I think that you will have a better understanding of what gender equality is and what we have in the world. The offline trainings in Almaty are encompassed by the 3 days of our seminars and workshops and the plenary session here in Almaty. And we are also expecting to conduct the workshop on the 18th of November, as well as an offline training in December. I believe that we can skip this part, and we are strongly recommending you to get registered to our workshop because we still have available places there, and you can do it using this QR code and to participate in our workshop. I believe it will be really very useful. Lucy was developing this workshop, and jointly we are going to conduct it. So join us. It will be very useful.
Delegates who are traveling home this evening or tomorrow morning, we have a workshop this afternoon for you, which I think that you already have signed up for. But just to let you know, for those international delegates, you're welcome to join the afternoon session today. For those of you who live here, we would love you please to join us either tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. Can we go back? Yeah, please, if you can. Thank you. So this is for the afternoon. Please come. Don't leave us on our own here in the afternoon. We would love to see you. So this is to register for the afternoon and that for the morning.
Кто зарегистрировался на сегодня, то есть уже...
Those of you who have already registered for this workshop today in the afternoon, we are going to start this workshop, and we are strongly recommending you to join us tomorrow morning as well. And this is what we are expecting to have, and upon completion of all these workshops, and during the workshop we will be explaining to you how the workshops will be organized eventually, and we're going to send all the instructions, relevant instructions to you by email. Now it's probably too premature to talk about it because the most interesting part is waiting for us ahead. Lucy, please.
So what's next? We invite you to join us for the training program. Please join us for the workshops, sign up. Then if you haven't already taken the self-paced course, I know that many of you have already done the online course, and we've already had lots of feedback that you enjoyed it, that you found it helpful. So we're really pleased for those of you who have already taken it. It takes around an hour. So if you haven't done that yet, you can complete that next week. When you register for the training, we send you the link to the course, and you'll get all the basic information that you need on this topic. Please also share that widely with your colleagues. It's free. We want as many people around the world to take it as possible. So what is next? We hope you will join us. And what will you get at the end of this training? This isn't just training for the sake of training. We're here for impact. We're here for change. So at the end of the training, you will come away with a personalized action plan for you, whether you're a student, whether you're managing director in the private sector, whether you work in the public sector. You will come away with a plan that makes sense for your own work area. What can I do? What will I do? We hope you will feel inspired and empowered to take meaningful action in your work area. And we're also, for everyone who completes the different phases that we've just spoken through, you will receive a certificate from UN Tourism that you've completed this training program. Following on from this, more broadly, we have a call to action, which will be discussed later on by our dear colleague Aynura. She will be presenting it to us. This is a call to action. We call upon the government of Kazakhstan to implement this, and we call on you all in your different work areas to implement the priority areas and the recommendations of the call to action. And we encourage you to join us in this movement for creating a tourism sector that reflects the reality of the world, that reflects the reality of who we are as travelers, and that provides opportunities, fairness, and equality for all women. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ferguson. Thank you, Mr. Nutt. Before we proceed to the next panel session, I would like to announce that we'll have a sharp 15 minutes break for coffee, which is right over there. And let's reconvene at 10 sharp, okay? Thank you. Hello, hello. We will start in a few minutes. Let me quickly remind, because it looks like I'm not written in the agenda. My name is Akmar Alsman. I am a gender specialist, and I consult different international banks and UN institutions. And of course, I'm here as a part of UN Tourism, and I'm more than delighted to, and I'm honored to lead these 2 days as an MC. Despite, I just wanted to highlight again about the housekeeping. If you remember yesterday, we provided the QR code for the YouTube streaming. This is a day 2. There is also QR code for day 2 that you can scan and also share with your friends and colleagues, as we are about to start our panel session with our distinguished speakers. So this is a quick remark. And now, if you allow me, I would like to welcome Ms. Kamila Lupanova for the panel moderation, the co-founder of Journal Central Asia. We will be speaking mostly about the experiences and lessons learned from women shaping Kazakhstan's tourism landscape. Please, Kamila. Nice to meet you.
Қайырлы таң, құрметті қонақтар. Доброе утро, good morning. So, first of all, I would like to thank all of you for coming. We were discussing which language to choose, but finally we decided to switch on Russian because majority of you speaks Russian. I hope you got simultaneously translation into your ears. My name is Kamila, and I'm representative of TANA Fund and also Journal Central Asia. What about, I will talk a little bit later, but first let me start. Позвольте мне начать.
Let us start our panel session. And before inviting all our speakers, first of all, let me invite one of the speakers, the great Guzipa Koyanbayeva. She is dispatcher of trolley bus fleet of Almaty Electrotrans. Yesterday we didn't see her video. Please, your attention to the screen, and we will show a short video on Gulzipa Koyanbayeva. People are saying that women are driving better. In 1990s, cars were stopping and looking at me attentively. They were surprising. How come a lady can drive a trolley bus? I believe it's not for men to drive a trolley bus. A woman is strong. She can manage to do everything. That's why we are women. Me being a driver of trolley bus, I would like to see more of women driving public transport. The most important is to have a wish. You should never be afraid. If you feel like driving public transport, you see the way I managed to do that, so you can do same. Welcome. I kindly invite our speakers to the stage. First, Gulzipa Koyanbayeva, the dispatcher of the trolley bus fleet of Almaty Electrotrans. And the next speaker is Adiya Karsebek. She is urbanist and designer and establisher Ayel Mekala. She is from Astana, combining women participating in establishing cities, towns, and designing them. Let us welcome Adiya. And now let me invite Ada Dusali. She is the establisher of Solkaz Female Society. She is the establisher of this society and the head of Almaty Alpinism School. Anna Diktirova, she is the co-establisher of Almaty Tourist Studio. She is one of the best tour guide. If you would like to know more about Almaty city, you can ask Anna about that. And Svetlana Khaninaeva, the chief cook and she's the managing partner of Kazmyasa company. And I also join the speakers. Good morning. It's great to see each of you. I'm very much thankful that you dedicated your morning for this conference. I'm proud to see young ladies and students here, and I hope that our today's panel session will be inspiring. For us, it's important because our today's panel session is truly Kazakhstani session and female session. For me, this is a very relevant topic. We represent a Kazakhstani woman, a Central Asian woman. She is a mix. She can be exclusive in everything she does. Probably yesterday you have seen videos of our characters, of our women. And first of all, let us start discussion. From general question, please tell us shortly about your way, your journey. As we discussed before, how do you feel working outside of women profession? What were your feelings? Let us start from Ada, because Ada Dusali is head of Alpinism School of Almaty. And it's relevant to tourism and sport. Many of my friends and businesswomen, they were trained and certified on alpinism. Almaty is located in the mountain foot, and alpinism is a special thing for tourism in Almaty city. So, how to living through the stereotyping. Good day, everybody. My name is Ada. Yes, it's quite difficult, I think. If we speak about sport, this is my favorite saying: mountains don't care. For them, doesn't matter if you are a man or woman. You should carry a backpack. You should know how to climb, and you should have all special skills. And despite the fact that objectively a woman can be a bit weaker physically than men, but women can cope with that. And at the same time, women have lots of domestic stuff to do, family things. Sometimes it's very difficult to find time to go to the mountains, especially when she's doing some extreme type of sport. Society may expect something unreal from her. If a man can pass away because of mountains, or if he is going to the peak of the mountains, it is a heroic action. But if a woman would do same, if something goes wrong with her, then society feels very angry because she should stay at home, she should take care on her children, and even staying at home and going on streets, everything may happen. Even domestic violence is very frequent. So staying at home, it's not a guarantee that nothing would happen to you. You can be well trained, you should know how to climb, you can buy special equipment for alpinism, and you can overcome stereotyping. I believe that pressure from society, the frames and stereotyping are pushing, and they are the main challenge, because women's role is a multifaceted role. To Today we were discussing with Gulzipa that in Kazakhstan, and particularly in Central Asia, a woman is ready for everything. My next question is to Adia. The topic of urbanistic is very close to me. Everything related to psychology of space and impact of space. And Adia, together with her society, Yelkala, promotes development of cities, towns, and countries. And the majority of decisions should be made by women. And when I collaborate with the state bodies, we have very vivid discussions. When a woman is included, it means inclusion is there. Could you please tell us more about your community, women community, because tourism is very wide area. It's not only about advertising, but also about the infrastructural readiness of the city to accept and process this flow of tourists. And I believe what is applicable here can be very relevant for the other towns and cities. My name is Adia, I'm urbanist. And everything what Camilla mentioned, it is really so. I graduated from mastership degree. My topic was women in top leadership and planning. As yesterday we saw 12% are women leaders on ministerial and other top positions. In tourism, it's different. In Kazakhstan and Central Asia, we have just few women decision makers in area of construction, transport, urbanistic development. When I checked Astana and Almaty, there were no women mayors, akims, no deputy mayors who would be managing construction, architecture and city development. It is important to understand why is it so. Women are more or less 50% of population. And they are consumers of urbanistic infrastructure, equally men and women. And women walk, they go by walking much more, and they use public transport much more than men. And they use much more the public spaces and different routes in the backyards. In this case, an adult man who is healthy mentally and physically, and the one who is economically active, he cannot understand what are the needs of a woman. Why, for a woman, it's important to have good light and some ways to escape. A woman should see clearly where to go, not to feel anxiety. For instance, a pregnant woman, during some period of gestation, they need to have a toilet more frequent than usual. So in urbanistic areas, there should be an opportunity to have a toilet free of charge, clean toilet that you can sit on the toilet, loo. So small details, but it shows the reality in Kazakhstan. Or when you have a wheelchair, so it's very difficult in the non-convenient area. Always I need an assistance of my husband or someone else in order to help me to enter some building. It's the same like woman is carrying bags of food or carrying a baby. So having those care responsibilities. That's why we established our community. We are located in Astana now, but we have lots of friends and colleagues in Almaty as well. In Almaty, we also would like to have a community as well. And my dream is to have community for the whole Central Asian region. Now we are in Astana. Our task is to upgrade awareness on these issues. And yesterday there were lots of talks on mentorship and networking. We exactly provide this platform for women to support each other, to share and to develop their leadership potential. So our task is not to replace men, mayor or men ministers, but to have healthy competition in order to be able to maintain gender balance. Competition, to my point of view, is a very triggering word in our society. Better we say it a tandem. Men approach and women approach are different, and I'm happy that Natalia is the head of Urbanistic Center, and she has ladies architects in her team. They're great professionals. I'm ex-representative of the state body. Many men, my colleagues, they argue with me. They say even in tourism, 54% of women working in tourism, but they work at low-paid jobs and they are not at decision-making positions. So 12% according to the UNWTO. This is about transport industry and women participation in transport industry. And that's why I wanted to ask Gulzipa. We have seen the video with your motivational speech, and ladies should not be afraid that transport is difficult. Maybe they're afraid that family things are taking lots of time and efforts. Please share your experience. In Central Asia, it's not very useful thing that a trolley bus is driven by a woman, that a woman can drive through traffic jams and heavy traffic. And all together with men, she is bearing a mission and providing logistics around the city. Good day. When I started to drive a trolley bus, I was as young as you. I'm retired now, but still I work in public transport. When I started to work in public transport, in trolley bus fleet, there were 4 ladies only. And they said, you won't be able to work there because you should know how to use different tools. You need to know how to change wheels, tires. I said, I will do that. I know how to do that, despite the fact I was small and thin. They told me, you even don't know how to use a screwdriver. Each woman deserves everything. And in any profession, a woman can do everything, even it is hard. And when men are saying, you're a woman, you cannot do that, but you should try. Tourism regarding transport, flights, transportation and excursion sightseeing are not represented by women. It's about inclusion. We're not trying to compete. We're not trying to substitute someone. The tourism bureau is inventing tourism products, and we think about the customer journey from A to Z. If a customer would be satisfied with quality. And in that regards, only women can feel through the service in details at the level of emotions and feelings. And now we know there is a trend for emotions and feelings. Now we fly not only to have a picture in front of some tower. Mainly it's about gastro tour or thematic group tours, and it's important to know the chain. My next question is to Anna. You work together with mother, Anna Degtyaryova, the co-establisher of Almaty Tourist Studio. What do you do in order to make each tourist to feel the beauty of this city? How do you design the tours, and how far women approach makes guests to feel in love with the city? When I was thinking about specificity of women business, okay, we speak about equality, but the differences are there. The main difference between women and men business, us women, we may do better when we do business from the heart. Means when we do something that we like to do. And I physically cannot do something that I don't like. So my tours are quite egoistic tours because we do, first of all, what we like with my mom. This is the secret of our success. When you share what you have in your heart, people may feel same, and there is a big difference. There is a particularity of men. Men are less emotional and they are more tolerant. They may work years and years at a work they don't like, not for soul but for money. But women can burn out quicker at such a job that they don't like to. First, you need to find the job that you like, and then you invent the way to monetize it. And then people come to you.
Yes, let's be honest. Probably it is very difficult for us to play something long term. You have to be honest to you, honest to the public, because if I'm going to do something that I don't like, I will be really so much bored very quickly. But otherwise, well, you know, we have very various tours, for example, to the graveyards and to the tunnels, etc. And very often we are facing a lot of hate and a lot of criticism from public. But again, reiterating to the issue that we are women, we are members of our society, we are always pressed by the public opinion, and at some point of time you become immune to public opinion, and then very calmly you do what you like, and it becomes the business of your whole life. Thank you very much. I think that the topic of fighting against the public opinion when everything is also mixed with our history as well as our background mentality, which we have here in our country, because everything is mixed up here, which is actually making Kazakhstan very unique. And among all, one of the tools might be just ignore whoever and just do your business in the right way. And my question goes to Svetlana. Svetlana, I believe that your case is probably very unique because you are a woman in a very classical understanding of very male business, such as being the chef in a restaurant. And you are not just a managing partner, but you own this business, you manage this business, and at the same time you do have your own production base. I think that it's really something really outstanding. And Svetlana, you told your story in such a nice way, and I would like you to share it again, because yesterday I've heard your presentation, your statement, and it is very inspiring and motivating. How did you arrive at this solution? And I believe that there is still an ongoing background fight. Yes, indeed. This is exactly the case. Good morning. My name is Svetlana Khaninaeva. I'm the chef, and I'm the butcher, and I'm managing Kazmyasa platform, and it is probably the only restaurant with our own flock of or herd of animals. Now I'm managing one of the biggest areas of activity of our company. I'm the managing director in the restaurant. How did I arrive at this decision? It's already 28 years, 12 years when I'm in this business. Because when I was 20 years old, I didn't even know how to fry an egg, and I was a sous chef. Or that is to say, is the right or the left hand of a chef. If you're not very experienced, then you are a left hand. And very gradually, I was moving towards what I have today. And I managed to work in some Michelin restaurants. That Michelin is probably one of the most reputable restaurant guides. And, I was frying the meat of animals. And, sometimes I was processing 300 to 400 kilos of beef. And over a period of 5 years, you know that it is transliterated into a very impressive number. Why do I need all this? I think that it's a kind of hyper compensation of what I didn't know how to do. It's very banal. Stating that a woman can drive a trolley bus and a woman can be an astronaut and a woman can be a butcher. I would like to probably emphasize Anna, because Anna, if you have a lot of haters, this is one of the features or evidences that you do everything in the right way. Because I have a lot of haters as well, and sometimes people claim that if your restaurant is only 34 square meters, it cannot be even called a restaurant. And I think that anyway, it's a symbol of the fact that you are moving towards the right direction. And I believe that all of us, the women who are working in a kind of male profession, I think that about 50% of people who are working as butchers in Kazakhstan are women, and many people probably are not aware of this fact, but very often you will see girls working as butchers rather than boys. And I think that it is a very low-paid work, and it is a very heavy work. But what is really of principal importance is that it is very important to talk about it, because we all are very actively expressing our stance. And thank you very much to UN to have this opportunity to speak up. Because maybe some women or all women will be able to understand that it is absolutely irrelevant to hear what people are telling you, because you have to be involved into a business where you are really the best. And even if one woman will be able to change her lifestyle, then all of us, we are not in vain here. The next logical question is as follows. To what extent do you believe that the representation of women is much higher in your area of activity? And of course, it's a very good example. Very soon we are going to launch a platform, Journal Central Asia, who will unite all the women, and they will be working on such topics as territory development, tourism development, etc., etc. Ada, what was the idea of creating such a platform? Because there was a kind of unwritten rule that in one group there was, or in one team there was only one woman, and then all of a sudden you have decided to change the situation and you established this women's club. And the next question to Adziya, and the effort to get united under the same topic is a global trend. And I think when you're sharing the same values with your adepts, it's very important, because if you take a look at the global advertising campaign of the biggest billionaire companies, their main idea is about communities. It is dedicated to communities. To what extent do you believe this tool will help you to promote awareness, raising awareness, and spreading the information that women can be attracted in every business? Well, probably I will start with some background information. Before setting up this community, we decided to establish the mountain climbing school, where we are teaching everybody, adults, children, school children, and I've noticed that very often women in some very difficult life situations are coming to us when they're very sick, when they have got divorced, and when they're in middle ages, when middle-aged women, when they are involved into various activities that they could not allow to themselves before. And these women usually are lacking some inspiration and support, and the idea actually matured that it is necessary to establish a community where women will be able to help each other. And because sometimes you cannot ask all of your questions to a man, for example, about your psychological interaction, about your health. Who can support you better than a woman can support another woman? And this is the reason for which we decided to unite all these women. And this is the how this story of this community, Solkız, actually was established, because sometimes it is kind of heroism for such a woman to go on a trip somewhere with her child and to communicate with her girlfriends. And this is the reason for which our community is called Solkız. Adia, what is your experience? And if we reiterate to tourism again, and tourism, of course, is a very vast topic, and we always used to support, and we always used to state that the infrastructure development and the other areas of activity will have to go hand by hand. And our unwritten statement, our motto is that if the mountains are ready for guests, they are ready for the residents of Kazakhstan, especially given our mentality when we are ready to share the best with our guests. And if we look through this prism at the infrastructure, I believe that for us, first and foremost, for the citizens of Kazakhstan, it will be much better. How do you promote this idea through Yelmen Kala, and how can you pass the message across? Well, I believe that one of the most important issues is that it is very important for us to understand that our professional activity is influencing thousands and thousands of people who are using the urban environment. And therefore, when we as professionals, we are developing the urban infrastructure, we are creating the environment for people, we are influencing on what people are actually kind of replicating from the urban environment. If this urban environment is too noisy, too dirty, full of cars, and there are a lot of closed facades, when it is really very dangerous even to walk along the walkways, no one is going to invest in such infrastructure, and nobody is going to visit such sites. But when we are creating such environments, and you all are located here in Almaty, and you probably had a feel of for example, the effect that was brought by Panfilov Street, which was turned into a walking street. And our team was represented by 50-50. 50% of us were male and 50% of us were women. And we were thinking of how to make this environment in the downtown Almaty, how can we make it more attractive so that the citizens of Almaty will be able to enjoy it. And of course, it attracted a lot of visitors, because people started bringing over the guests, and everybody were boasting of this walking area, Panfilov Street, which is kind of our own Arbat. And of course, it triggered the chain reaction all over Kazakhstan. This means that when we are thinking over some issues as professionals in general, we are creating a more adequate and comfortable environment. And why it is in general very important for us not to simply talk about it, but we really have, since we are building all these areas, we are creating such environment, we really have to get united, because it is very important to take into consideration, for example, availability of toilets, and it is important to make sure that the pavements should be really very even, very leveled, very well leveled, so that when you are, for example, a wheelchair person, you will not be you will not feel any discomfort, or you don't have any physical difficulties to pay, for example, in a cafe, or when, for example, you need to visit a toilet or to park your car somewhere. This is the reason for which the community that we established is very important for the public at large, because we maintain our dialogue with the professionals, because it is very important to take into consideration little details that in our work, both men and women will have to very thoroughly think of little details which are creating our society. It goes without saying that Panfilov Street, and I believe that this year there are two culture institutes, the Museum of Contemporary Art and the Tselinny Culture Center. I believe that opening of such facilities is really very much boosting up the business, because the more people are spending money, the more businesses paying taxes, the better it will be for the city of Almaty. This is the reason for which one of the achievements here in Kazakhstan was that more than 14 tax payment codes are related to tourism. Therefore, tourism is really outpacing the other sectors of industry. And this is why I keep telling that it is very important for our infrastructure to keep a pace with the latest tendencies, because we have a lot of tourists, and the city, the town, will have to have enough capacity and potential to service everybody. Anna, what about your tours? I think it will be very interesting for us to hear what tours are very popular, what our tourists and guests are interested to see, and how do you take this gastro-touristic boom, and is this picture realistic, and the guests tend to get back to our city time and again? Yes, it's a very nice question, and I would like to add a little bit on what Adia has already mentioned, because the city tourism is so much interrelated with urban development, because if you are a city tour guide, you are becoming an activist, you are becoming a tourist, and because you work in this environment, and when you see that the environment is deteriorating, you are trying to influence on it somehow. And I'm really very glad that there are a lot of citizens of Almaty, there are a lot of residents of Kazakhstan who are participating in our tours around Almaty. And I believe that our mission is that the citizens of Almaty feel better about Almaty, because many people believe that it is not very interesting to have a tour around Almaty because there is actually nothing to see. But after the tour, people feel more involved, and they control the city much better, and they become activists. For example, they say, well, the pavement is destroyed here. We were not planning this goal from the very beginning, but it is really very good that our tourists are turning into the city activists, and we are evolving as a community, and we are becoming more involved. And of course, this influence is really very powerful. For example, if you take the Center of Contemporary Art, the Museum of Contemporary Art. I'm really very much looking forward to a kind of Bilbao effect because, Almaty is by itself a very interesting city, and people tended to visit Almaty at all times, but I believe that the majority of the companies which are organizing tours, city tours, they will include this unique collection, unique building of the Contemporary Art Museum into the city guides. And I think that it is really very attractive for the tourists. But what is very important is that the city, the town of Almaty, will keep a pace with all those tendencies, because it is really very difficult in our city to have access to some premises, to some production facilities, and sometimes people tend telling us, well, you are not supposed to visit this facility, but why? People cannot even explain it. Therefore, we really have to work with the local government and making sure that the urban development in the town will be really listening to us. Only under this condition the touristic sector will be organically growing. And the citizens of Almaty are to some extent tourists as well. And the more people spend money, the more open the city of Almaty is, the better it will be for everybody, because we cannot think of tourism as something external, because we, the citizens of Almaty, to some extent are tourists as well, and we are responsible for what is happening in the city. Excellent. Thank you very much. Yes, it's a great idea that after your tours, the citizens become very active, and we know very well that there is a kind of axiom that women very often take decisions only in families. Therefore, I believe that if a woman is really so much obsessed with some ideas and would like to be involved into what is happening in the city, it's kind of contagious, and everybody starts thinking same way. Tourism is very closely interacted with creative industries, and I believe Cellini and Contemporary Art Museum become the home and PR agencies for the local artists, for creators, for women first and foremost, and because both foundations are really supporting women so much, and it is very important for us to know that these names are very well present in Almaty. Just the same way it happens in gastrotourism. Svetlana, the question goes to you. Why our beef is really so delicious and our horse meat is so delicious? Why do we like it so much? I believe that it is probably one of our brightest business cards, because I remember that Crossroads Festival was hosting one of the headlines, and he said, why don't you trust in horse carpaccio? But in our mentality, raw meat is something not very well taken. And he said that it will be really worthwhile to introduce the lamb or horse meat into our menus. Therefore, my question is more specific. It goes to your profession, and it is related with the products. To what extent does it become central in the development of gastrotourism in Kazakhstan and in Almaty? Not so many of you know about it. How many millions of, let's say, cattle do we have here in Kazakhstan? 30 million? 100 million? As a matter of fact, not so many. You can imagine that if there were 5 cows per head in our country, probably we would have been involved into cattle breeding, and we would have been driving Porsche. I would say that we have about 8 million heads of cattle. This means that per every 3 people present here in this meeting room, there is one cow. This means that this product is underestimated, and what is really very interesting is that in Central Asia, the best pastures are located here in Kazakhstan. You know, Kazakhstan is a very vast territory, and of course, we are not a Brazil. They have 4 crops per year, and they are one of the leaders in the global market. And I'm talking particularly about the volume of produced meat, but good pastures and a lot of opportunities for cattle breeding is giving us a huge advantage, which is underestimated largely by all of us. Why haven't we turned into a cattle breeding and meat producing country? Because there is a kind of ban and restriction to export the cattle, live cattle, and it's a huge problem for the farmers of Kazakhstan because it could have been a huge source of income, and therefore you can actually raise your hand. I mean, who have been eating beef for the last 3 months?
Have you noticed it's grown 30% in cost? Why? Because the portion of that was killed, and by the springtime there will be a new portion of beef. And we have gastro-journalists, experts, but first we need to deal with ourselves. This is one side of existing issues, and we should speak about that. Regarding the meat of Kazakhstan on the world stage, in Kazakhstan there is a regular issue. If something made in Kazakhstan, it's not good. It should be good only when it's made or grown in Italy or Canada. And it's like Dimash, the singer. If he is appraised abroad, then we start to appreciate him here. It's very interesting to observe that the majority of people perceiving the goods and services here, they do not appreciate. And Kazakhstani meat exactly the same case. When I was building my steakhouse, maybe you know that story. During 2 years, I was trying to find enough number of cattle. Why do I need cattle? Because I can buy any type of meat from Uruguay, from Brazil, from Russia. Because I didn't feel interested. Why should I eat someone else's imported meat? If we have high quality meat here, 8 million pieces of cattle. And this is a high risk for restaurator to open a restaurant with such an attitude to the local meat, working at local meat. We don't use imported meat, only Kazakhstani veal. If it's camel or mutton, we provide any type of meat made in Kazakhstan. It will be again brought up in Kazakhstan. And the biggest success we started to have when Forbes Italy and Condé Nast Traveler and other journals and magazines abroad started to write about us, we became more popular. This is exactly the case when we should pay attention to local produce. And it's proved by local guests and by gastro enthusiasts, professionals. Our meat is exactly same quality. Okay, it could be a bit different. We cannot compare Japanese and Kazakhstani meat. They're just different. We cannot Black Angus American veal compare to Kazakhstani meat. They're different. But both meat could be tasty. And the main important thing is that if it is tasty for a guest, then it works. So we should focus on meat. And I'm feeding lots of guests. Up to 30% of guests there from abroad in our restaurant. And we should be focused on the products that are not known for international guests. Camel, for instance. A lot of camel meat we have, and only few chiefs can cook camel, and also horse meat. When tourists from abroad may see a regular dish but made from horse, they're interested to try. For instance, people would not be convinced to try kurdak, Kazakh dish, but tartar made from horse could be clear enough and he's ready to try. So this bridge is about interpreting from chiefs, from restaurators, to show what we cook. Okay, there could be chefs working with the local cuisine. Steak is steak, and also tartar is tartar. But we can interpret something on local products. Thank you. I would agree that international acknowledgement is taking first of all in our society. That's why Almaty Tourism Bureau is having program on the leaders of public opinion. We meet bloggers, more than 250 of them from 150 countries. Currently we have representatives of media and we are thankful for that. We have been always discussing that women should be represented, and we should agree that a mix of nature, gastro, and everything available from this region, if we add presence of Central Asian women, that would be even greater. Priori, there is a gap of women presence in international arena. Women from Central Asia. For instance, it's difficult to be associated like London and Paris. They have more than 100 years of history. But we can speed up this process by representing women more. Our region is having very active women. We speed up this process to make our region more recognizable. Gulzipa, is there many women drivers in your trolley bus fleet? Does it make sense for women to be drivers of public transport? Because the customer journey in public transport is important. When a woman is a driver, it could be more safe and calm and quiet. What shall we do to make this profession more popular? That girls should never be afraid. It's like you, when you saw a woman driver, you wanted to be same in the beginning. The trolley bus fleet is the main one in Kazakhstan, headed by men, but the deputy and accountant, they are all women. He's the only man, the director of the trolley bus fleet. Currently we have totally 308 drivers, 308, and 80 of them are women. Some of them are young, some of them are same age like me. We have very young girls. In the beginning they were afraid. They cannot do that. I told them, you can do that. When she started to drive, she said, wow, it feels great. So, girls, ladies, adult women, please come to our trolley bus fleet. You can drive a tractor, you can drive a trolley bus. Probably you remember the old movie Say Goodbye to Lena. She was driving a truck. But a guy have chosen another girl, not driver of a truck. But finally she pushed him and managed to marry him. That is an old movie of my youth. I saw that movie in a cinema. So a woman can do anything. So I invite you to work in a trolley bus fleet. I thank the mayor who provided new trolley buses. And it costs 145 billion tenge. We are not afraid to drive, despite the fact trolley buses are expensive. We like to drive passengers. We have lots of foreign tourists from abroad. As the international tourists, first they enter to the front door. Usually they look at the driver first. And I cannot speak English. I speak Kazakh and Russian only. When an international tourist speaks English, I start to think I should learn English as well. Now I'm retired. So I kindly invite each of you, men and women, and the salary is good for trolley bus drivers. Yes, it is. The salary is good. I'm not going to say how much, because if someone would know, you may think trolley bus drivers earn a lot. It's okay, and we thank our top management. They increase our salary regularly because the job is not easy. During one day, a driver is transporting lots of people with different mood. For instance, sometimes wife didn't accompany a husband, didn't wake him up, didn't feed him with a breakfast. Then he feels angry, and he tries to express that in public transport, trying to blame the driver, that the driver doesn't drive properly. Better not to come into the contact. So the driver should be like a fish. Doesn't matter what they say, you just stay silent. Thank you for your work. That is a huge daily work. Ada, what else shall we do in order to have more women in alpinism against stereotyping? Because your type of sport is extreme sport, and it is also time for yourself. Not only women, but also families and men, they want to go to the mountains. What else should be done in order to have more women there? Many things can be done. We should give more support to women if she feels like mountain climbing. But in our society it works vice versa. If some woman would like to go to the mountains and doing some extreme sport, not only alpinism, but just going to the mountains, she may feel some contradictions and limitations. Anything can be done, but the main thing is to support a woman, not to have bullying, saying why you go there, what for, what do you need there. So a woman, when she's young, first she needs a permit from parents to let her go. Then it's husband. If no husband, then it should be children who would let her go. So every time she needs to have a permit from someone just to have some rest in the mountains. There is an active discussion. Even if you feel there is no support, anyway, there should be peer-to-peer support, like sister to sister, woman to woman. It's highly relevant right now. Historically, it was promoted that women should compete in between of them because there is a kind of danger. But thanks God, in Central Asia there is much more cases when women are changing, and sometimes a strong woman is assisting a weak woman. I don't want to make any labels. They provide support each other like a sistership, and magic can come. And then a man can see that it's not only about emotions, but it's about exact support. And also you can share your professional knowledge and you can get a result. So what else can be done to have more women in different areas? This is a question for each of you. Could you please answer from your heart and also from professional point of view regarding your specific type of activity? Probably I have several things to add. First of all, it's about education. Starting from childhood. Yesterday it was mentioned that it is important that at school there should be a friend or maybe a teacher or elder friend, some mentor. Or maybe it could be a man or woman. And then a lady should continue self-education. When I'm graduated from a well-acknowledged university, I feel much more sure that I have knowledge and skills that are not available in all experts, so I can be more competitive. There is many girls, ladies and gentlemen as well. I believe everybody should have education and then to polish, to improve that education. Many people gives evidence to that. And Ayelmenkala event was here, and one woman, a leading analyst from BI Group, mentioned the following. A lady who is advisor to the CEO in decision making. She said that women should have data, statistics, analytics, figures, especially about money. Then you can impact on decision making. When we say about survey, study, when we speak about evidence base, then we can impact. And I would agree and join all the speakers who presented today and yesterday. The most important is networking, sistership, mentorship, and community when everybody supports each other. Anna? First of all, I believe that there is a big advantage of women. This is what we can use in tourism, that women organically are more interested to know more. If there would be sociologists, they would give us some numbers that a woman all her life she stays interested. Men may say we like to make gossips, but it's one of the sides of being interested. For tourism, there is a big advantage of that, because during my tours, our target was not for women community, and majority of our tourists are women or families, but first women contact us and then families come. And statistics that was shown before, who is the decision maker on traveling, is proved in our practice 100%. Even if there was no task to establish women community, still the majority of our visitors are women. They could be limited on financing, but they're interested to know more about the city, and that's why they buy our sightseeing tours. And it should be used in the tourism. Woman is constantly learning and getting more and more information. This is what I see from my work. And women remain more interested. And women travel much more. And I'm surprised about the data of solo travelers, because women solo travelers are much more than men. I would agree regarding education. This is the most important to invest into. This is the main thing to get better our education is, more competitive we are, and more freedom we have. I don't think we're gonna face a situation that you are on street and you cannot work. If you have good education, you would have a chance to earn. And this is the task for any parent, to provide education. We should dive deeper into our profession. If you are a good expert, you can always find a good place in life. And history proves that education gives protection. This is the most simple thing and the most obvious one. Regarding the numbers and education, I would agree. When we speak that we should speak same language with men, and when we speak with numbers, and if we have diploma and education, this is a big advantage, because this is exactly a very strong counter argument together with soft skills, where you may express your position and impact the decision-making process. I would also agree with all the opinions. Gulzipa, what do you think? What shall we do to attract more girls and ladies into trolleybus driving, public transport driving? Probably we should make more promo in colleges and schools. What is the first idea that comes up to your mind? I'm graduated from the railway college and started to work in public transport somehow. The most important is to have a strong will. Yes, education and diploma is important for young generation to know more. This is the way life now. In the previous years, we were living in a Soviet time. We could survive without education, but now it's different. So try to do your best. The most important is to have your will.
So that you, men, women or girls, you will be able to achieve all your goals. And right now the men are probably looking at me and laughing at me. But as a matter of fact, this is exactly like this, because myself, I am the master of my money, of my pocket. For example, I do have this son and he's married, but his wife is managing their budget, family budget, and we usually take the decisions jointly with her. I and my daughter-in-law, and my son is simply taking our decisions. He agrees with us. Well, I would say that women are now capable of achieving such task. And previously, when I was a young girl, that was not the case, because my mother used to do what my father was telling her. And now it's the other way around. This means that we are in no way worse than men. We can do everything. So don't be afraid. You need to have a wish, the desire, and tolerance, patience, and I wish everybody success. Exactly. This is the reason for which we keep saying that this is not just a competition or feministic mottos. If a woman is very much involved into various areas of activities, then it will be a win-win-win situation. It will not be just a win-win situation. From the point of view of the emotional security, from the point of view of financial safety, etc., you would like to add something? Yes. I used to work in Almaty Elektrotrans as well, and we made a study on the labor environment of the trolleybus drivers, and probably one of the most important factors that will predetermine the involvement and attraction of people is the establishment of infrastructure. And we, as the institutions such as Akimat or any other organizations that are creating jobs, we will have to think about the employment environment, and we have to think how the employees will work during the day, and we really have to think through different scenarios for our workers who work all day long. This is it for me. Thank you very much. Yes, probably the same question goes to you. Yeah, I think that what is really necessary is to stop requiring from women much more than from anybody else, and probably to get rid of the second shift. And everybody understands what the second shift is, because you know, a woman is working at her workplace and the man does the same, but when a woman is getting back to her family, she will have to work again in the second shift, because she will have to take care of her family. And we really need to get some practical result, because you know, there are a lot of discussions and there are a lot of ideas circulating in the air, but we have to understand what to start with and how can we ensure it. From my point of view, the most efficient way is to destroy the stereotypes, and everybody can fight against stereotypes to his or her capacity, because we have to do something to make sure that a woman will work comfortably in the available environment, and we as people who have a public voice can do a little bit more. Why do we have a nomination in all the global ratings of the best chef woman? You know, and many men say that there should be the best men chef. The problem is that physically a man does not have any need to be in the kitchen with a huge belly when a woman is pregnant, or with a baby in her hands, because you know, when you are quitting your job and when you are on a sick leave for 9 months, you will not be able to retain your job. This is the reason for which men usually state, well, you know, the men are the best in frying meat, in making shashliks. You know why? Because they do it only probably once a month for their friends with beer. However, a woman is cooking 2 or 3 times a day, every day, for her family. When for a woman it's a kind of leisure, hobby, for a woman it's a hard work, full-time hard work. So how can we fight against such stereotypes? Well, I have already given you a couple of examples of why there are so popular myths, and let's try to break the legends. Now, with regard to women who have to have a family and to take a maternity leave during 2 years of our restaurant history, 3 men took a maternity leave. And from my point of view, this is the first probably impact of women managing the restaurant. And for us, it is normal. We take it as something normal. We will be waiting for our male colleagues who are on maternity, who take their maternity leave for a year or a year and a half or 2 years. And it is really, I'm really very happy to see more female faces here than male faces. And because, you know, my message to the men will be, please take more responsibility on you, on your shoulders. Take a bigger burden, family burden. This is the reason for which I believe that when we get rid of the second shift, then everything is going to be fine in our sector of industry. Thank you very much. And I believe that one of the main tools for us to change the situation is, of course, raising awareness. We have to talk more about it, not from the point of view of fight or competition or your desire to prove something, but from the point of view of presenting some very successful cases. This is the reason for which I'm really very happy and proud that today we all are here, and our panel discussion is dedicated to Kazakhstani women, to the women of Almaty, and women in tourism at the center stage, especially in the framework of the first regional tourism conference. And I really do hope that the cases of our today's speakers will be inspiring all of you and will incentivize you and will really demonstrate that we will be able to change the situation in a very soft, kind way, the way we know how to do it in Central Asia. Thank you very much to all of you, and I would like to wish you a lot of success and good luck. Let us support each other. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I would propose to have a group photo with the panel right over here.
Сделаем общее фото, да? Все
Да. Можете стоя, сидя, как... Да, давайте.
Yes, you can make this photo either standing or sitting in the chairs, the way you want.
Women, можно вас попросить?
May I ask women to stay here in the chairs?
Ms. Zorica Urusovic, Executive Director of UN Tourism, to the stage in order to have a round of certificates represented.
Thank you very much for having us. I made the comment yesterday and the wish became reality, and I think it's wonderful to give the UN tourism certificate to these outstanding ladies, which are going to open the way for many others to follow.
Can we invite Ada Dusali? Thank you, Miss. Miss Adia Karsidek. Miss Anna Dikterova. Miss Gulzipa Koyanbayeva. Miss Svetlana Khaninaeva.
And finally, if we could have a round of applause for our Master of Ceremonies for the 2 days, Ms. Akmal Osman.
Thank you. Oh, well, yeah, that's nice. Thank you. Yeah, let me hold this like this. Thank you very much.
You could please all move to the stage for a group photo together with the certificates, and then we'll be moving on to the next segment. You in the middle? Me and Christine on either side.
Thank you. Thank you, dear panelists. Thank you, Camila, for a wonderful moderation. And thanks, everyone, for this wonderful discussion. I think we've learned a lot about how the weather is like in Almaty in terms of the meat processing, in terms of the transportation, in terms of how we have wonderful memories of this city tour. So let me now have this last part of this conference to dedicate for an invitation to a final closure of Mr. Nurtas Karibayev, the chairman of the Committee of Tourism Industry, Ministry of Tourism and Sport of Kazakhstan, for a final closure. Oh, pardon. Yeah, see, I was bluffed with the certificates now. And now I'm with my emotions. Anyways, before we close, let me quickly go to invite the very important part, apparently I'm missing. Let me invite Ms. Ainura Turijanova, the co-CEO of the Journal Central Asia, who will present the call for action for women's empowerment in tourism. Let me please welcome Ainura on stage.
Hello everyone. I'm Хайырлы таң, құрметті достар, құрметті қонақтар. Я прошу извинения за мой голос.
I'm sorry for my voice. It has become a little bit too masculine, but probably it will be better heard. Today I have a pleasure and an honor to be with you today and to present this block of our big project, of this big conference, Almaty Action Plan. Almaty Action Plan is the document which is uniting and integrating all the ideas, words, presentations, appeals that were voiced by you and speakers, which you were discussing during the coffee breaks, during the lunch breaks, and informally. And this document signifies a very important role, and I believe that it can be used in your organizations and in your everyday work as the start maybe of your research work. And based on my observations, I can tell you that we are still short of scientific publications dedicated to gender equality, women empowerment. There are a lot of students among us who will do their scientific research. Please think of this topic. Start looking for stat data. This is something that we really need right now, and it's exactly what will help us to continue developing and keep on working along these lines and to continue developing these initiatives. You can download this document using the QR code that you see on the screen right now. This document is very short, and it outlines the steps that you can use or the topics that you can pay your attention to. And I will probably read out only an abstract of this document, but in general I would like to mention that yesterday and today we were discussing three big topics, if I can generalize it. Number one is how the technologies change women's entrepreneurship, how the technologies can change and improve the face of entrepreneurial activity in general. The second issue, the second topic is that we are in charge of our future. We predetermine our borderlines. And the third topic is also very important, that everything has to be accomplished jointly. All the activities, all the projects will have to be implemented jointly with the government bodies, international organizations, business, academia, and it is really very important. And As a matter of fact, it's not so important, maybe. It is more relevant from the point of view of productivity rate, because such tasks can only be accomplished jointly. Let us now get down to the abstract of this document. Almaty. Well, I would like to start reading it in English, but it is a very short abstract from the document.
Almaty is the heart of Central Asia, a city of mountains, creativity, and transformation. Today, Almaty becomes more than a host. It becomes a voice, not mine, a voice calling for equality, opportunity, and empowerment. The Almaty call to action is not just a declaration. It's a movement, a collective promise from governments, private sectors, and communities to turn words into actions and visions into reality. Employment is the foundation of empowerment. We must close the gender pay gap and bring more women into fields where they have been unseen. Transport, guiding, technology. Workplaces must be safe, fair, and free of harassment. Empowerment means ownership. Women entrepreneurs deserve access to funding, mentorship, and markets. Let's formalize women-led businesses and ensure fair trade and visibility on digital platforms. Each woman's enterprise strengthens and whole tourism ecosystem. Women belong in leadership, not by exception, thank you, but by right. Let us create mentorship circles, leadership academies, and policies that open doors, not close them. Gender equality in decision-making makes tourism smarter, more inclusive, and more sustainable. Education changes everything. From STEM classrooms to hospitality schools, every girl deserves access to knowledge and opportunity. Learning is lifelong. We must keep reskilling. So women can rise to higher, better paid roles. Knowledge is freedom. Empowerment is not only individual, it's collective. Communities thrive when care work is shared fairly, when women have networks of support, and when gender equality is protected as a human right. Together we create change, village by village, city by city. What gets measured gets changed. We must collect gender disaggregated data in tourism, share it with UN Tourism, and use it to guide smarter, evidence-based policies. Numbers tell the story, but action writes the future. Empowerment is not a woman's issue. It's everyone's responsibility. Governments, educators, companies, and travelers, all of us are part of this transformation. The Almaty call to action is our shared compass, guiding us toward equality, dignity, and progress. Let the Almaty call to action be remembered as the moment when we moved from words to action, from inclusion to leadership, from equality to empowerment. The future of tourism is inclusive, and it begins now in Almaty. Thank you.
Thank you, Ainhoa. I think what's really important is not only to commit, but also to act. It is a verb that requires everyone's efforts and willingness to change. Thank you very much for this beautiful and important, a really important document. Now, as we approach to the closing part of this conference, let me please invite Ms. Zorica Urusevic, Executive Director of UN Tourism, for the final closing remarks.
I first would like a round of applause for everybody that was involved in this conference. I think this is going to dynamize where we are going to go from here. So, dear Dr. Askarov, I think we owe you really a lot of gratitude to you and your team for this remarkable achievement and conducting and organizing this event. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and friends, what a 2 days it has been here in Almaty. What a force of nature Kazakh women really are. It has been truly inspiring to spend those 2 days with you here in Almaty and be part of this historic first conference on the empowerment of women and tourism here in Central Asia. These 2 days have been packed with inspiring journeys from key leaders in tourism. Thank you to all the speakers and to all of you for coming. As we have learned, tourism can offer fantastic opportunities for economic and social empowerment to women across Europe and Central Asia. After this conference, I am sure none of us can forget that 53% of tourism workers are women. And the fact that women are consistently outperforming men in education is a truly hopeful sign for the future. But it is some of the other data that I hope that really made a mark on all of us. It revealed where the inequalities still are and where we need to focus our efforts. And this is very well embedded in the call for action, the Almaty call for action. Tourism transport is an area where we won't see many women employed. And as Gulzipa rightly said in her video, women are strong, we always manage to do everything. I made it as a trolleybus driver after all. Unfortunately, she's not there to listen. But she has put her landmark. Elsewhere, the pay gap is still outstanding. With women in tourism earning an average 15% less than men. It has been 74 years since the International Labour Organization passed the Equal Remuneration Convention. It is about time that fair due ladies is done. Another area that is deeply ingrained in us as human beings is women doing unpaid care and domestic work. And Svetlana shared with us the second shift. Here in Kazakhstan, women spend 3 times more than men working or for free at home. Not for free. They give love and they receive love. And that is by no means the worst example from around the world. As Ben rightly said yesterday, that is a small change men can make in their everyday lives to make a huge impact. So come on, it's time to give us a hand, men. And finally, let's talk about leadership. I myself have worked my whole life to further my career and achieve this position, one hard step at a time. So trust me, I know how difficult it is and how thick that glass ceiling can at times appear to be. As the first woman to hold a senior management position in the UN tourism and in its 50 years of history, my message to all of you is work hard every day, love what you do, follow your dreams, and your hard work will pay off. As the many women speaking in this conference have shown, tourism can be our road to success. I hope many of you will join us on that road for a prosperous future, where gender equality is a reality. And dear friends, I would like to close by thanking the government of Kazakhstan and our gracious host here in the wonderful city of Almaty for putting women's empowerment in tourism on the agenda here in Central Asia. But most importantly, and I apologize for not doing it yesterday, I want to thank my wonderful team. UN Tourism works hard, and all of you. So Rosa, Ben, Malak, Nina, Davron, and Christina, thank you very much for making this happen. We look forward to continuing working together. to see the Kazakh girls of today become the CEOs, coders, butchers, maintainers, city tours, guide, trolleybus drivers, or UN officer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rusevic. And finally, let me invite Mr. Diar Askarov, Director of the Almaty Tourism Bureau, for closing remarks.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, as we come to the close of this regional conference, I want to sincerely thank everyone who took part in these incredible days. Our sessions and panel discussions were full of meaning, energy, and open dialogue. We have touched on truly important topics: equality, leadership, and the role of women in shaping the future of tourism. My special thanks to Ms. Zorica Rusevic, Executive Director of UN Tourism, for her leadership, and to the UN team for your trust, cooperation, and tireless work in making this conference a success. I would also like to express my deep gratitude to the entire team of Almaty Tourism Bureau for their outstanding work, professionalism, and dedication. To all speakers, thank you. To all speakers and participants, thank you for ideas, insights, and inspiration. You made these days unforgettable. So, we don't say goodbye. Ahead of us, there are online sessions in December where our shared work and dialogue will continue. Let's keep building on what we started here in Almaty, a stronger, more inclusive, and forward-looking tourism community. Thank you all, and see you very soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Askarov. And what is a tourism without a PR? May I kindly ask you also to reach out to me, akmaral.sman, in social media, in LinkedIn. I'll be really happy to cooperate with you also. And with this, let me also officially close this session. And on behalf of UN Tourism and the Ministry of Tourism and Sports of Kazakhstan and the Almaty Tourism Bureau, I announce that this conference is officially closed. Thank you very much. Thanks for all the cameramen, camera women, all these volunteers, and also participants for your time and participation. Thank you very much.
Am I on? No? Could we just have all of the UN Tourism, Almaty Tourism Bureau and Shazam Media colleagues who organised the conference to the stage for a group photo of the staff who put on this fabulous conference, please?